Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a pretty quick video. Well, I think this might be a quick video. I'm not too sure. I think I'm just going to do it in one take. But anyways, I'm just going to do a comparison video for this VigorPool Lake 300 power station and this EcoFlow River 2 power station. These two are pretty similar, and so I just thought, why not just do a comparison, smaller brand versus a bigger brand, and just see like what the pros and cons of each of them are. And so just taking a look at both of them, I mean, they look like totally different devices. However, they're still pretty similar. As you can see, right at the top is that the VigorPool Lake 300 power station features wireless charging at the top. The River 2 power station does not. Also, when it comes to the DC ports, the River 2 power station just has a cigarette lighter port right over here, and it doesn't have a cover. For the Lake 300, it has a cigarette lighter port and two DC 5521 ports, and also it has a cover on the cigarette lighter port as well. And for the input ports, I would say that the River 2 power station has a faster charging speed, because it has I think a 360 watt input speed that can take the power station from 0% to 100% in about an hour. For the Lake 300 power station, you can actually use the DC input and the USB-C input at the same time, which gets you about like a 190 watt input speed, which is still pretty decent, because the Lake 300 power station has a 320 watt hour capacity. The River 2 power station has a 256 watt hour capacity. You're going to be able to recharge this back to full power in about like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, if you're using the DC input and the USB-C input at the same time. But with a 360 watt input speed for the River 2 power station, when you're recharging it through the AC input port at the back of the power station, that's actually a lot faster. 256 watt hours recharging at 360 watts. That's really fast. So I'm going to give points to the River 2 power station. I don't know when we started taking count of points in this video, but I'm counting points now. That's right. Points are applied. Okay, anyways. So when it comes to the screen, once again, like this is a pretty unorganized video, but I'm just going to keep talking and just comparing them both. And so yeah, when it comes to the screen, I like the River 2 power station screen a bit more, because I mean, it shows the estimated runtime, the power capacity in the middle, the input and output wattage. The only thing that the Lake 300 power station is missing is that it does not have an estimated runtime. So I have no idea how long this is going to last. These estimated runtimes may not be very accurate, but it gives you an idea of how long the power station is going to last while you're using it. And that's just really convenient to have. If a power station has that estimated runtime, it has an edge over the competition. And in this case, the River 2 power station does win. And also, another thing about the River 2 and other EcoFlow power stations in general is that they're app compatible. So you get access to the EcoFlow app, and that gives you access to other features. You can control remotely, whether to turn on the DC port or the AC outlet section. And so yeah, I mean, it's just really convenient. And also with the River 2 power station, you can also control the input wattage speed, and that's pretty cool. VigorPool does have a app, but that is only applicable for their higher tier power station. I think that it's called their Captain 1200 power station. So in a way, their power station is compatible, but not with this specific one. But the EcoFlow River 2 power station is compatible with an app. But yeah. So and moving on. I mean, both of the screens also, they're bright, like they're really bright. This is a bright screen. This is a bright screen. But yeah, there we go. For the charging ports, the Lake 300 power station does win because it features a 100 watt USB-C power delivery port and 2 USB Type A quick charge ports. So on the charging port section, the Lake 300 power station is an absolute win, because for the River 2 power station, you get a 60 watt power delivery port and 2 standard 12 watt USB Type A ports, which I expected more from, especially from an EcoFlow power station. So yeah, Lake 300 definitely has a better charging ports. And so yeah, there we go. On the AC outlet section side, I would say that they're both equivalent. I mean, right here you can plug in a single 3-prong appliance only and another 2-prong appliance. Same thing with the River 2 power station. You can only plug in a single 3-prong appliance in a single 2-prong appliance. So I mean, in that case, they're both equivalent. Also, for the max output of the power station, which I probably should have mentioned by now, is that the Lake 300 power station does have a 300 watt max output. The River 2 power station, I believe, has a, yeah, so the River 2 power station does have a 300 watt total output. However, I believe you can actually double that to 600 watts by accessing the X-Boost feature via the EcoFlow app. So that's definitely pretty incredible. However, with the X-Boost feature, I'm not too sure if it's applicable for all types of appliances. So yeah, I mean, there's that also. Yeah, there we go. Also, something I wanted to mention is that I forgot to say that that the EcoFlow River 2's cigarette lighter port has a 12.6 volt 8 amp cigarette lighter port. However, the cigarette lighter port on the Lake 300 power station has a 12 volts 10 amp cigarette lighter port. So the cigarette lighter port on this Lake 300 power station is a lot stronger, and with the access to these two DC 5521 barrel ports that each output 72 watts, that's also an edge that it has over the River 2 power station. So I mean, there we go. My cats are fighting back there, in case you're wondering what's happening back there. And also, when it comes to activating each of the sections, they do have their own buttons. Because on the Lake 300 power station, they have their buttons right over here. Right over here, just by a press of a button, you can just activate and deactivate those sections. Same thing with the River 2 power station. And so yeah, there we go. Size-wise, they're both pretty similar. I mean, you're looking at them right now. I would say that they're both equivalent when it comes to their size. The Lake 300 power station does weigh 9.6 pounds, and the River 2 power station does weigh 7.8 pounds. So lighter weight right over here. It even looks like it has a lighter weight to it. And so yeah, I mean, there we go. And also for the Lake 300 power station, everything that you need to use is at the front and at the top with the wireless charging pad. For the River 2 power station, design-wise, you get the AC input and the XT60 input ports over the back right there, as you can see. And the fan is at the back. I believe the fans for the Lake 300 power station are off to the side. And so, yeah. And also, when it comes to the recharging accessibility, like the way you can recharge these power stations, I mean, I'd say that they're both pretty equivalent because, you can use the USB-C port also on the River 2 power station to recharge it, and the same thing goes for the Lake 300 power station. It's just that the River 2 power station has that AC input port at the back that just recharges it really quickly. And so yeah, that's just like a pretty big edge. A lot more power stations are starting to use that direct AC input connection for recharging. Why is my cat meowing? Why? What? Okay, I'll be right back, you guys. Just give me a second. Alright, you guys, so I'm back. My cats are fine. The smaller one just wanted attention. Anyways, and so also one of the most important things I forgot to mention is that both these power stations are using lithium iron phosphate batteries. That is one of the biggest things that you should definitely consider when you buy a power station at this point. Because lithium iron phosphate batteries, they're like a new type of batteries that are able to get many more charge cycles. And basically, if you're spending money on a lithium iron phosphate power station, you're getting more of your money's worth versus a regular lithium ion power station that gets a lot less charge cycles. So definitely go with lithium iron phosphate power stations at this point. It's just a lot more worth it. You're going to be able to get more out of your power station. And thankfully, both these power stations do feature lithium iron phosphate. If one of these did not feature lithium iron phosphate and they one of them had lithium ion batteries, I would have totally disregarded the one that used lithium ion batteries. But thankfully they both use lithium iron phosphate. There we go. That's another thing. And what you get in the box also kind of matters when it comes to purchasing a power station. And I think they're both basically on par because with the River 2 power station, you get the power station itself, AC charging cable, car charging cable, and the quick start guide. For the Lake 300 power station, you got the power station, the AC cable, AC adapter. Both these go basically together. Car charging cable, and the user manual. So I mean, basically similar accessories that come with each of the power stations. In case you want to take a closer look at the specifications for each of the power stations. So these are the specifications for the Lake 300, and these are the specifications for the River 2 power station right over here. Just put them side by side in case you want to pause the video and take a closer look at them. And also one of the most important things is also the price. Of course, the price, they're actually the same price at the time of making this video. So there is a coupon for the River 2 power station over on Amazon. Once again, at the time of making this video, you know, if you're watching this at any other time, the price may have changed. But yeah, the River 2 power station does have a $60 coupon that brings it down to $239, and you know, the Lake 300 power station is just naturally at $239. And so yeah, I mean, they're the same price. I don't know if EcoFlow took a look at this power station right over here and was like, oh no, we got to match prices. But anyways, yeah, that's what's happening right there. They're both actually the same price, and so I think this comparison was kind of valid to do, just in my opinion. You know, they both have their pros and cons. And also, I forgot to mention, is that the Lake 300 power station has a flashlight. Yes, it does have a flashlight. Yeah, oh, there we go. That's how you turn it on. The River 2 power station does not have a flashlight. You know, once again, don't know if that's a useful feature for most consumers out there, but you know, that's just another thing that the Lake 300 has that the River 2 doesn't. And so yeah, that is just a comparison video that I thought I would make. You know, there are plenty of other power stations that I could do comparisons for, but these are the only two that I currently have right now that I could really compare to each other. I know there's like the Jackery Explorer 300 that I would not recommend. Honestly, I think it's in the same price range as these two power stations right over here. But the Jackery Explorer 300 power station does not use lithium iron phosphate batteries. So it still uses regular lithium ion batteries, which get a lot less charge cycles. So I mean, that's just my opinion right there. And so yeah, that is the comparison between the VigorPool Lake 300 power station and the EcoFlow River 2 power station. You know, a smaller brand versus a larger brand. I would say that VigorPool does a pretty good job at keeping up with the EcoFlow River 2. You know, it does fall short in some areas, so does the River 2. And I'll leave the purchasing decision up to you guys, all right? And I will see you all in the next video. And also, I'll leave a link to the full review videos down in the description below in case you want to take a look at the full reviews for these power stations. And so yeah, I'll see you all in the next video, all right? Goodbye.